Hello children, welcome back. Today we shall continue with the chapter Weather and Climate. In the previous video you had learnt about the first two factors that affect the climate of a place, altitude and latitude. Today we shall continue with the third factor, distance from the sea. Areas located near the sea or ocean have a moderate climate, whereas places that are situated away are colder in winter and hotter in summer. Reason? It is due to the land and sea breezes. Now, before we go into learning about the land and sea breezes, you should keep one thing in mind, the factor. The factor is that land gets heated faster and also cools down faster than the sea. This particular factor or the concept you need to keep in mind throughout while learning about land and sea breezes. That when we compare land and sea, land gets heated faster and cools down faster, whereas sea takes a lot of time to heat up and also takes a lot of time to cool down. Okay. Now, during the daytime, what is happening is, just now we've learnt about the factor that the land gets heated up faster than the water. So, when the land is getting heated up faster, the air above the land is getting heated, and when air is heated, it starts expanding, it rises up, and it moves away from the land, creating a kind of a vacuum or a void on the land surface, which is filled in by the cool air that blows in from the sea. The sea takes a lot of time to warm up. Therefore, the air above the sea is still cooler as compared to the one above the land. So when the warm air from the land rises up, it creates a kind of an empty space, a vacuum or a void on the land, which is filled in by the cool air that is rushing in from the seaside. This phenomena that's occurring during daytime is known as sea breeze. It's also known as onshore wind. Onshore wind means this is the shore, the seaside, and the wind is blowing from the sea towards the land. Therefore, sea breeze is also known as onshore wind. Next, we come to what happens during the night. If you remember the factor that land gets heated up faster and cools down faster also, whereas water takes a lot of time to heat and a lot of time to cool down. So during night when land has cooled down, the water is still warm, right? Because it takes a lot of time to cool down. Therefore, at this time of the day, the air above the water is warm and therefore it rises up. Now this time creating a vacuum or a void over the sea, which is then filled in by the cool air that moves from the land towards the sea. Because land has lost its heat fast also, therefore by this time, by night, the air above the land is cooled down, whereas sea does not lose heat so fast. So the air above the sea was still warm. That rose up, creating a vacuum, and the cool air from the sea blew in to take the place of the vacuum created. And this phenomena is known as the land breeze. Land breeze is also called offshore wind, as it is moving from the shore towards the water body. Okay. Next we come to the winds. Now, winds that blow from the sea bring rain to the coastal areas because it has a lot of moisture content. It is blowing over a water body, so the winds are carrying a lot of moisture with it, and therefore, when it blows from the sea, it brings a lot of rain to the coastal areas. Winds that are blowing from the cold inland areas. Inland areas are the portions or places that do not have access to any water body. They are landlocked. They are locked by land on all sides. Okay, whereas coastal areas are near the seaside water bodies. So the inland areas, if they are cold and winds are blowing from a cold inland area, you can understand that they'll be cold and dry winds. Whereas winds that blow from warm inland areas will be warm and dry. Again, dry reason because from where will it gather moisture? There's no water body nearby. Whereas winds that blow from sea, they bring rain. They are not dry winds, they bring in rain. This is how winds affect the climate of a place to some extent. Next we come to humidity. The amount of water vapor present in the air is called humidity. The amount of water vapor or moisture. In Kolkata, we have a very hot and humid climate these days, especially with the monsoon coming in and it's raining almost every second day or every day. We usually sweat on a humid day. These days, if we are not under a fan or we are not having our AC switched on, we start sweating. This is because of the humidity or the water vapor content in the air, which is not the case during our winter season. Our winters are usually cool and dry, right? So our summers are warm and wet, humid summers. So on humid days, people feel hot and they sweat a lot. The machine used to measure the humidity is called a hygrometer. Next we come to the ocean currents. Ocean currents also affect the climate of a place. They are movements of ocean water. Warm ocean currents will make a climate of a place very warm, and the cool or the cold ocean currents make the climate of the area cooler. You can see in this particular map the arrows that are marked with blue are the cold ones, and the arrows that are marked with red are the warm ocean currents. So with this we come to the end of our chapter. Thank you.